Hey, we're live. I accidentally went live earlier on. I've just got this bizarre 10-second video But anyway, don't seem to know how to get rid of it. But thank you so much for coming. It's an ominous start, isn't it? This is going to be a really fun one. It's going to be a special fold. It's very much all of these folds are dedicated to my colleagues at UCH. I miss very much being there in person, but I'm still offering everything I do online and encouraging staff to join me. But this is for everyone. During this very strange time, we're all a little bit disconnected. Hello, you're ready to start? Thank you. There's always that little delay, so apologies if I seem a bit slow, but it takes that little time to get to me. So yeah, these folds though are for everybody because we're all in isolation, aren't we? And it's quite hard being away from other people. So I've been sharing a fold a week during this time, and hopefully that's something special to help lift your mood, give you a really positive focus, and also the feeling of being here together as a little group, I think is really nice. There's something very special about live, even though, hello, Stephen, even though I accidentally went live a bit earlier on. But yeah, thank you for your patience. So this folder is particularly dedicated actually to nurses and midwives. And I know I've got a colleague here who is a nurse herself. And it's the, hello, Penny, it's the, what's called the Daisy Award, which is, it's an international award across the world and set up by a charity from a family who lost their loved one, and just wanting to celebrate the extraordinary skills, the clinical skills of nurses and midwives, but also very much to celebrate and to thank the astonishing compassion and care so much that's given by nurses and midwives. So the Daisy Award, I thought we have to fold a daisy. Now, it's not the simplest one. I know it's not. This is going to be really interesting. I'm going to chat for just a few minutes because I want to keep people all together as a little group. So I hope you don't mind me chatting for a little bit until a few more people arrive. So maybe if we start at a few minutes past. So the Daisy fold, I've been asking around. No one seems to quite know where this one has come from. So I always like to do my very best to find out who has designed these things. These are not things that I've designed myself. So I'm really keen to always make sure that we can find out who it is who's created this, who's been kind enough to share their extraordinary discovery. So I'm afraid I don't quite know for the daisy. Someone thought they'd seen it maybe in a Chinese origami book, actually. So who knows? Maybe it's a Chinese design. I don't. So you can see it's a little bit more complicated than the ones that we've done, but I think that's really appropriate because this is going to take your full concentration. Hello, Eric. It's going to take your full concentration. It's going to require lots of care, lots of persistence, lots of sticking with it, a bit of hard work, and how appropriate for celebrating nurses, because you have to put in so much care and so much time. Gary, you made it! Woohoo! Have technical difficulties resolved themselves? Thank you so much for coming. That's wonderful, Gary. So what Gary and Joe, they're both colleagues actually, so it's really lovely to have colleagues from ECH because many of us are also working at home. So trying to give a feeling of community. There is a community of people who fold. And Amy, lovely to thank you for joining us as well, Amy, who does amazing, very beautiful mathematical pieces. And I think there's something very pleasing about this kind of symmetry and beauty, because in a way our lives are a little bit out of order, aren't they? Things aren't quite as we want them to be. So actually making something very orderly, very beautiful is very calming, I think, for the mind, particularly when things feel a bit disordered and out of control. And I think that's particularly why origami is a wonderful tool for well-being. So we all need that in this time, and I'm very excited to bring you on this little journey to make a daisy. I don't know how many of you have ever made this. For most of you, it's going to be a completely new experience. And last year I was in the hospital showing this to nurses who were quite amazed as to what goes on behind this. So I hope you're going to enjoy this. If you can, definitely go and get some white paper. I think for a daisy, I mean, you can do different colours if you want to, but I'm thinking of a daisy for the daisy award. So white paper, and if you've got any yellow pencils or felt tips, because we might as well give it a little heart to there as well. Okay, so I think hopefully most people have arrived by now. Brilliant. So let's get going. And as I said, this will be one that will have to be quite patient. So be very kind to yourself. We'll go slowly. It may take longer than half an hour. We'll see. We'll just have to see how it goes. But I think it's worth it. And next week I'll do something super simple after this. So, but I think you'll feel chuffed if you stick with it. Good things will happen. So I'm going to go and get my board. And thank you so much for writing messages. It makes such a difference because I know you're there. And it's nice because you're also sending messages to each other, aren't you, as well? So if you get your piece of paper, and first of all, you may already have a square, but each time I'm going to show you because I want to encourage everyone that we all have paper at home and we can all make something. We don't need special paper for it. So if you take a corner and line it up. Also, if anyone is interested too, I'm also running a hours workshop through our local library in Oxford. So I'm based in Oxford. If you look on my Twitter feed, you'll find there's a link to our library because I was running some lovely sessions in person, and we all felt what a shame. We can't lose these things. Let's try. So we've been doing it online. So we're going to get rid of this rectangle. So Saturday morning, 11 till 12, I'll be running a session, but you need to book a ticket, completely free. In this case, it's funded by the lottery to bring community. And I'm going to be sharing something special there as well. Hello, Wendy. Oh, thank you so much for coming. What a lovely group. I'm just imagining us all around a table now. We are in effect. So just removing this rectangle. And do shout out if you need me to repeat anything, to slow down, because this is going to be good old journey. You get your cup of tea and we'll take our time. So first of all, starts for the square. And I'm showing you even without scissors. I know, Joe, you're good at doing that as well. There we go. So we've already got a diagonal. If we do the other diagonal, and then in a second, I then want you to colour in the middle so we can be the heart of our daisy. Excellent. I always encourage everyone to go slowly. Even if you know what you're doing, it'll be a better piece of origami for it. Taking that time saying that, I'm not sure mine's that perfect. I might redo that diagonal. Quite sure what I've done there. Anyway, I'm going to be kind to myself. Not perfect. It's not too bad off. So keep it this way round, and what I want you to do next is colour in the centre of it because we want to make our daisy so it's got a nice yellow heart to it. So if you get your pencil, I've got a couple of yellows or felt tip. If you haven't got any, that's fine too. I mean, it can just be white, but it might be nice if you can go and grab some colour. Bit of scribbling around. You could even do some pink towards the end because sometimes daisies have a nice little bit of pink too, don't they? I hope you've had time. Sorry, I should have warned you about needing yellow pencils or felt tips. Felt tips also looks good. So it's this sort of proportion. Can you see what sort of proportion of paper I'm doing? It's just the centre really. It's a bit like a square fried egg at the moment. Again, I'm going slowly so that you can all keep up. There's nothing worse than feeling left behind, is there? So please do say, because obviously I can't see you, it's only your messages that I will know whether I need to slow down or show anything. Those of you who are all up on things, then just enjoy taking your time. There we go. Are you all ready for the next fold? All good to go? Can't hear you. Right, I'm going to assume, hopefully, that you've managed to add some kind of yellow in the middle. If you haven't got anything around, that's fine. Don't worry, it's all right. So you can turn it over next. And we're going to do a horizontal and a vertical. This is a very familiar base that we keep on doing. That's it. So, hello, Amanda. Hello. So, Amanda, I don't know whether you're do keep up with us. So, what you need to do is make a square, do the diagonals, and then colour in the middle yellow. Do shout if you need any help. Thank you so much for coming along. So I turned it over. We did a bit of colouring in, and then we'll do the horizontal. So we've done the diagonals one side, turned it over, and then did the horizontal and vertical. So hopefully it's like this. If you turn it to the other side, you should just be able to push it all together, and it makes a square. As I said, it looks a bit like a fried egg as well. Great. So are you all happy? You've all got it to this point? Do say if I need to explain anything or it's not coming together as a square. Hopefully if you've coloured on the right side, it should be looking like this. Right. So our next step, I can come up a little bit, show you a bit of the person, is we've got flaps. Now think of this as little pages of a book. Got a little flap there, and if you put your finger in and squash it down, excellent, Joe, so you're keeping up with this. So you may have made something a little bit like this with me before. Can you see? So what I did was it was like a flap of a book, and I put my finger in right down to the bottom. The reason I'm encouraging you to do that is to get rid of any wrinkles at the bottom, because if things aren't quite there, it puts everything else out of order. Can you see? I'm just lining everything up there. There we go. Oh, Eric, I hope you enjoy watching this. Sorry you're finding it harder for the folding. That's it. So if you turn it to the back, and again, any of these folds, but it is relaxing to watch, isn't it, origami? And I think something in your brain is kind of going, oh, I do it that way. And I think it's stimulating just watching it. Like I've really enjoyed watching YouTube videos of origami. So again, putting your finger inside there and squashing it down, making sure it lines up. Much easier for you to do this on a surface, not in the air like me, but I'm just trying to show you while saying hello at the same time. There we go. That's it. Excellent. Thanks for joining us, Stephen, Penny, Carrie, Joe, Amanda. So many people. Oh, good. It's gone quite dark here at the moment, so I'm glad to do something a bit colourful. You see, it's a little bit dark, can't you? Any of these flaps, again, put your finger in, squash it down. You can see you need to get rid of that wrinkle at the bottom down there, because if it's not quite right, it will affect everything else. It is about being quite critical, actually, origami, but it brings you to a good place. In this case, being critical on yourself is not good, but being critical and trying to get it right and being kind on yourself, because you will get there, is important. So there we go. And again, another flap here, and that should be the last one. I don't know how it's going for you. I wish I could see. But actually, the session that I'm running through the library, if any of you are interested, is an hour session. You have to sign up, and it'll be through Zoom. And actually, there, once you can see everybody, then it helps hugely, because I can see whether it's working for someone, if it hasn't, what's gone wrong. And it's been lovely. So we've just done one, and actually people of all ages. It was really lovely. We've got up to 50 tickets. There we go. And very exciting. Since last time I saw you, I think I was mentioning we're through this funding from the lottery. I'm running workshops and events like the one I'll be doing on Saturday, but we're also creating a beautiful leaflet with an amazing designer with 5 different folds, and it's very beautiful, and we're adding 25,000 printed, because we've had so much support from different hospital charities as well. So we've gone from, we were expecting 5,000 and to include UCH and Oxford, and now it is all over. It's going to be all over the place. So Oxford, Cambridge, London, it's Imperial, as well as UCH, York, Liverpool, Derby, Bristol. Unbelievable. So hopefully 25,000 people will gain a little piece of origami and encourage them to get folding. So we suddenly may be inundated our group, we'll see. But it's hopefully just something to cheer people up, particularly in hospitals, for staff and for patients. So hopefully you've got it looking like this. I've been chatting away, sorry, hope you don't mind. I'm going to leaf through till we get to a flat, smooth side. And what I want you to do is take the top and fold it down in a straight line, and it's sort of leveling it up. Can you see? Because really we want to get rid of all of these things sticking up, so it'll be flat eventually at the top, and you've got to do this on each side. And obviously we've got 4 sides, haven't we? So leaf through till you get to another side, and it's the same thing again. So bringing that down, hopefully it's working on yours. Going on, go slowly, but do shout if you need me to slow up at all. That's it. Good strong folds, really accurate for this one, because there's quite a lot of folds that you end up doing, so if anything's out it'll get harder and harder. Don't know whether I'm doing this such a good job back to front, but we will see. I'm able to see it in the camera. Quite amazing what the brain can do, isn't it? Let's try to line up. Just think it's a bit more personal. There you go, and one more side for me. Don't know whether you're almost there as well. Lining them up. So hopefully it's looking something like this. Sort of, it's got a daisy-ish feel, or at the moment it looks a bit like a Christmas tree, which is covered in snow with maybe a star that's melted. No, I'm not thinking about Christmas yet. Just the shape of it. That's it. So are you all happy? Have you all got this shape? Nice and neat and tidy. So our next step, excellent. Thank you, Jo. So I'm going to have it this way up. So if you turn it this way up, and what we're going to do is we're going to bring the bottom up. And excellent, Amanda. Well done. You've caught up well. Don't know whether you came along later or not, but I'm assuming that you may have done so. Well done. So I'm bringing it up, and I'm making sure this sticks above the line. That's deliberate, because this will help give it a nice big centre to the flower. There we go. Is that good? Have you all got that? Give this a really good strong fold, because we want those lines. Excellent. Oh. Well done. That's it. Line there. Make sure it's all in the centre. So make sure that's a strong line. Right, next step's really interesting. I'm probably going to have to now put this down on the base. We're actually going to open it all up, so it's going to appear as if we're just getting rid of everything, but the lines we're going to use. So let me see, I'll bring this a bit closer. That's it. So take your piece and open it up. It's quite satisfying. It's like a little parachute inside there. You see? It's rather beautiful. Excellent. I find all of these steps rather lovely. I quite often take photos of the steps just because, I mean, isn't that an enchanting shape? It's beautiful with the lines. So it should look something like that. What I want you to do now is to turn it over to the plain side, which is all smooth in every direction. What we're going to be doing is almost changing the direction of the line. So we're not adding new lines, but we're changing the direction. So can you see there's a central circle here? At the moment they're folding this way. We want to get it so that they fold the other way. So what I'm going to do is for each one, you do 2 at a time. You've already got the line of folding it, so it's going to be coming down. At the moment it's going the opposite way. Do you see? So it's this circle, and each one you'll have to go carefully. You may feel all the fingers and thumbs. That's completely normal. I always feel like that with this one. But you're slowly going from one to the other, and you're following the lines that you've hopefully have got made from that last fold. So I said this fold is a work of real patience. because suddenly we're onto sort of 8 sides, so it's quite a bit more than the usual square. So each side you'll probably find that you have almost one side that's fine to do and then the other, but you're doing each time a straight line and in those sort of pairs. Good for concentration, this one, isn't it? Loving the challenge. Well done. That is the right attitude, exactly. And I guess with all your work, you're meeting challenges all the time, aren't you? And you're having to go, I will do it. I will get there. So hopefully you're managing to do this on each side. I will give you time on this one because I know for me it feels like quite a big process. Makes lots of good crinkly noises, doesn't it, paper? I'm imagining that you're all in the same position where you're finding that you have not got the free hands to write messages, which is completely fair enough. So have you managed to? I'm presuming you'll still be doing that, so I will chatter away for a little bit. But hopefully you've got them so it's like that on each side. Now the other thing you can also do is these lines here could be done so that they stick out like that. Do you see? So each of these triangles there, you're again reversing that direction. So it ends up like almost a little table. So it'd stick up that way. If you don't have time for this bit, I think it'll still work anyway. But this is going to take all of your time and challenge. It's all gone quiet. I'm imagining all those tongues sticking out because it's that kind of a step, isn't it? Oh, what am I doing? But just take your time. I will hang out with you until it comes together. The main thing is that middle circle and getting those pointing that way around. So something like that. Almost looks like a, yes, it does almost look, that's a good way of putting it. Yes, it does. Baby dragon, whoever you are. Great name. Do dragons and paper go? I don't know. I imagine that they would burn quite easily if you got the bit gruff. Just fried egg gemstone. How I like it. Oh, you're also from ECH. Fantastic. Thank you. I never knew there was a baby dragon in ECLH. That's fantastic. Thank you for saying. That's really nice. Well, welcome. You're in good company. There's a little group of us because we're all saying it would be lovely to be there together, but we are, aren't we? So are you ready for me to show you the next step, or are you still busy on this? Because I'm not going to rush you because I know this is hard. I can't say that I find it easy either. But you know what? I was determined that we're going to do this one because with patience and time we can get there. And it's such a nice one, the Daisy Award. Recognising that a lot of... Oh, Amanda, you're ready? Is anybody else ready? Oh, Gary's ready. Well done. It's all paying off, isn't it? How about Baby Dragon? Has it come together for you? And in a moment, again, you'll feel like, oh, fingers and thumbs, because we've got to sort of fold it up as well. Ready, ready. Oh, excellent. Stephen, anyone who's not ready? Because please say, because we will wait. Great. Joe's ready. Excellent. Anyone who's not ready? Because we will wait for you. I'm going to assume in just a moment that you're all ready, unless you say otherwise. No, unfortunately, I'm just watching. Oh, yes. Yes. No, that's great. That's great. Thank you for watching. I hope it's a fun one to watch. That's great. Right. Our next step. Oh, again, I always wonder, how does this bit work? We've got to fold this up. Right. So I am thinking, actually, keep it on this side. The middle will end up going in. Oh no, sorry, maybe turn it this way around. So basically, we're trying to think of an easy way to explain this. There isn't particularly. You're just going to have to enjoy the challenge. But ultimately, this middle bit will end up sticking up. You see, I might get the board that way. Maybe if we go for one side. Sorry, I feel as if I'm explaining this well. But you're effectively not going to fold it all up. Each side will end up folding together. This is one where you trying to think how I've explained this one. So each side is sort of flattening, and then if you go from one side to another, it will start to come together. This reminds me a little bit of a lemon squeezer. At this point, it's a bit like a lemon squeezer. Started to come together for me. I'm sorry, I feel as if I was really badly explained. I don't know how to explain that, but each side folded up. Did you see? Do you need me to go through it again? Because I will go if I... So I think if you push in each side and just start gently trying to fold it up. Yes, please. So it was like that. And push the middle upwards. Lemon squeezer, but yes, it is. It is a lemon squeezer boat. Right. So each side you'll be able to push in and get these. You can definitely. This is definitely one where you feel like your tongue comes out. So each side I'm trying to fold up. Honestly, I wonder how this works. It's extraordinary, isn't it? I wish I could be there helping it each individually. But each side will slowly, you'll be able to push that in. It will start to come together. I know, you've got to be super patient. I honestly don't know an easy way of explaining this other than persist. And I will wait for you. Don't give up. I'm here to encourage you to just play with it. It will start to fold up. And as I said, it's not something I feel as if I can do by quite instruction. It's about playing with the materials. But each side will start to fold up on one side and you push in at the edges. And hopefully, as you say, lemon squeeze a boat. It is. Has it come together for you, or is it? This is where Zoom would be easier, isn't it? But this is quite a nice public way I can share. And it's quite good quality too. So, and you just know all you have to do is roll up on a Wednesday. Has it come together? Suddenly it all came together. Exactly, Gary. Yeah. How do you explain that? It's there's a certain magic to it. And sometimes, can you imagine trying to explain that in a book? Well done, Joe. Yeah, if it's at all beginning to come together, it will then take force and it will suddenly all come together. So I will wait here. I have my lemon squeezer boat. Excellent. Magic. It is magic. Yeah. And the person who was the first president for the British Origami Society was a magician. And his book was called Paper Magic. It's so perfect, isn't it? Done. Excellent. Done. Yes. Well, Stephen and Wendy will be very well experienced. So is there anyone who needs me to wait or to try to explain more? I really don't know how to explain that step. It really is one of those moments you're almost on. It's almost like being on a roller coaster. And then it comes together. And then you feel so chuffed when it does. Hopefully your little lemon squeezer got it. Well done. Well done. Please do say if anyone's needing me to help or be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. It's not easy. I'm giving you quite a challenging one. No problem, Gary. Yeah, excellent. Well done, Gary. And you've not got much more to go, so you'll see from the video. Bye, Gary. How to do it. So our next step is to take the bottom. Are you all ready? Do shout if you're not. Is to take the bottom and we're going to fold it up in a straight line. Can you see? So I'm taking the side, and it's just one side, like so, and kind of up to a point there. And you're just doing the one side each time. Don't touch the other side. And if you flick through to another page, the next page, and do it on the same side, so whichever side you're doing it, do the same thing. Again, it's sort of tightening it up, and it's giving a good shape. Yes, today is, sorry, it's a little bit longer than the half hour I thought it would be. But we're actually not far off, so we're doing very well. And if any of you have to go, I've already recorded a video as well, so you can also look at that. So if you again flick through to another page. Lots of work involved in nursing. Those midwives, so much care and patience. This is nothing in comparison, is it? There we go, and doing each side as you go along. And it's slowly building up the shape. You might find as you go through each page, it gets a bit bunched up on one side. So at the back, if you just move it through so it's a bit balanced, I find that tends to help. Excellent. So again, next page, same side each time. And after that, we're not far off. Hurrah! Hope you're not at home sobbing that it's not working. I like us to be ambitious. It does. It gives you a nice warm glow. I'll do something simple next week. There we go. And this bottom again, bring it up. And so at the end, when you have made your daisies, hopefully you will have made your daisies. If you want to take any photos of your daisies or any messages for nurses or for colleagues, would love to see your photos. So I set up a Facebook group, which is called Join the Fold, Origami to Beat Boredom, if you're on Facebook. If you're on Twitter, which is what I tend to share quite a lot on, Dr. Lizzie Burns. So if you look up at Dr. Lizzie Burns, and you'll find me. If you have to share anything there, or if you wanted to email me if you're in the hospital, then my email will be lizzie.burns, so it'll be easy to find. Here we go. So going for each one. And then go. Next time, it feels so many sides, doesn't it? 8. It's amazing. A 4 doesn't feel that bad. Suddenly you double it. Oh God. Oh dear, I had a bad ripping. That angle is not right, is it? Right. Concentration. I'm clearly losing it a little bit. There we go. It'll be all right. Won't show up. And then again, this final side. Again, it's all about keeping your concentration and focus and care, being gentle. So hopefully you may have got something like this, and we're not far off. I promise you we're not far off. No, it feels like quite, it's probably a bit like a marathon. Well done, Joe. It probably feels like a marathon. You will probably want to rest after this, even though it's relaxing. So you can see we've sort of got a daisy, but it's not quite. Are you ready for the next step? I will wait until I hear whether people are. Please say if you're not, or please say if you are. And then I will show you the next step. And after that, it'll be opening it up. So we're not far off. It's quite a process. Excellent. Ready. Good. Do shout if you're not ready. It's hard to tell for those who haven't said. So our next step, excellent, great. Anyone shout up if you're not ready. So our next step will be to do a little V shape there. And that's because you're trying to give a little bit between each petal. So, oh, well done, Amanda, Wendy, excellent. So we're going to give a little V shape, and this will separate the petals. So to do that, you're adding, I would almost allow the petals to start closing and you're just doing a small little V. Now, I initially was trying to do a very long one, but if it reached up here, your petals will never open up. So do it quite small. Again, it's a little bit of a judgment, to be honest. Can you see I've done something like that? So I almost, if you do it flat, you'll find you can't do anything. So you need to start turning your petal a bit and just bringing that down. And then you can close it up and then go on to the next one. Again, it's like a little circular structure. So once you've done one side, you might at the back want to turn it around. So through each one of these, bringing it down just a little, again, start closing it actually, and just giving it a little V. Do you get what I mean? So little V, bringing it down, turning the page a little bit, giving it a little V, and then you can shut it as well. So again, don't do it flat because I think it can't give a V shape. You have to start turning that petal and bringing it down. Everyone's gone quiet again. It's not surprising, is it? This keeps you quite busy. Can you imagine doing loads of daisies? Anyway, next one. It's all those petals. Little V, start turning the petal. Little V, just to separate the petals. Next one. After this, we've got the fun of opening it up. Again, turning the petals, bringing that down. Again, I think this is a little judgment one as well. Would you say, Stephen, is this a judgment fold again? So I don't quite know how to say it mathematically. There we go. So each one, bringing down just a little pinch there. And you have to sort of turn it at the back as well at the same time because it's all attached. Again, that little. It's not the simplest, is it, this one? Again, folding it. So hopefully you end up with something that looks a bit like this. And I do feel as if my little V's are a little bit variable, but it'll be good enough. And the same for you too, because this is not an easy fold. So how appropriate. Lots of time and care. Good things happen. So I hope yours looks a bit like that. You can see mine's not absolutely perfect, but good enough. Good enough. I wonder who came up with this one. So I will wait a moment until you're all ready. So as you look down, you should see that each has got a little V between it. And in a moment, we're going to sort of pull open the middle of the flower and then bring out the petals and you'll have done. So we are very close. It's quite a journey, this one, isn't it? I think it's turning it into the sort of 8 petals, which just makes it that bit more complex. But I'll wait for you. So let me know when you're ready, or let me know if you're not ready. It's a bit trickier, isn't it? You're ready. Well done, Joe. Thinking of Ted. Oh, yeah. And actually, I don't know if you know David, but he gave me. I've got one sitting by me. Look at this. It's just so exquisite. This is David Rayner made this one. Isn't that gorgeous? Is that the one that you're thinking of? Yeah. It's beautiful, isn't it? I did not make this. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. It's sat there since end of February. Just everything changed. So we had some sessions in the library. Yeah, it's very beautiful. Very beautiful. Right. But I'm going to wait for you. Most of you are ready, hopefully. You can see at the other end, you've got a little hole there. So you could make a stem. You could make a paper stem and then balance it on there. It would work. What do you reckon? Are you ready? Not ready? Please say. I can't hear you. Quite a few of you said you're ready. So unless I hear otherwise, I'll show you the next step. You ready for the next step? Okay. So our next step is to open out this middle. At the moment it's sticking up. We want to flatten it. So to do that, hold the very sort of bottom of these petals, kind of quite close down to the bottom. Really pinch them quite hard, I'd suggest. So it's nice and you've got a good firm grip. And hold them, can you see I'm holding opposite petals? Right, so what you're going to do is then pull out and it starts to inflate and flatten. So I've done it one side and then I'm going to turn around to a different angle. At least this is how I've learnt to do it. So I've gone from one side, from each in turn on the petals, and can you see it's opening it up, it's flattening it down. Each time I'm holding quite firmly at the bottom. So hopefully, but I think you need to hold the bottom in order to sort of grip it. And it's inflated it out and flattened it. Yeah, it's looking a lot more daisy-like, isn't it? We've obviously got a little bit more work to do, but I hope that that's worked, that it's flattened down. Very pleasing structure, isn't it? In a way, actually, it reminds me a little bit of the back of a crane when you're opening it as well. It also flattens it down. There's something very pleasing about it. It's almost the folds are coming out, actually, aren't they? We've added the folds and then we're getting rid of them. But it's made it into a sort of a round structure, which I think is really beautiful. Has that worked for you? I hope it has. You have to just slowly, I think it's taking your time. It's very satisfying, that step. All of that work you've put in, taking the folds out, flattening it down. It's like a nice little round cushion, like a little pin cushion or something. Yeah, it's rather beautiful. So you've actually made your flower now. The next step really is just to go around and try and open up different colours and make a sunflower. Yes, that's true. Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? Or you could experiment. You could do almost like a whole different rainbow of colours and see how it opens, because you've obviously got different layers and different. Oh, yeah, that would be very interesting. So each of these petals at the moment is quite flat. What you want to do is start opening those up a bit. I mean, I've just gone round and just gently playing and opening them up, and you'll find you open one and it closes the other a bit, so you just have to, again, be very patient, go from one to another, sort of bringing them out one at a time. This little wheel, 8 petals feels like a lot, doesn't it? That's it. There we go. One to another. It's almost flattening each a little bit. I'm imagining you're all very busy. It's all gone very quiet. I'll keep playing around with that too. It's very nice the way that the light, I think, shines on this. You know, you get a lovely depth to it. Just leaving them propped up, you'll find it's just beautiful. You're finding that as soon as you open one side, it feels like you're closing another. Hopefully with time, I don't know if there's a, but you could sort of try to slightly curve, but you obviously don't break anything either. Try to flatten the ends a bit. Probable from a hexagon. Yeah, that's true. I guess it would be a 6-sided one then, wouldn't it? There's something about a daisy does seem right to have eight petals. So I find they do vary a bit. You definitely don't expect your daisy to be perfect. It's quite a tricky fold. So just be extremely happy with yourself that you kept going, because it is complicated. But I was keen that we did this for the Daisy Award and to push ourselves a little bit as well. And there is a real beauty, and it's quite a summery flower, isn't it? It's not feeling very summery at the moment, so it's quite nice to need something that's a bit summery. Think about what to fold next week. Always welcome if there's any suggestions or thoughts. I've got an idea for just a very simple traditional fold next week, which is quite fun. Yeah. How's it gone for you? Are you still playing? It's one of those things you can just play endlessly with these petals. I still don't quite know the best way to open these up. Oh god. That side. It's looking daisy-ish, isn't it? Yeah. Does that work for you? You can certainly keep fiddling around and trying to open it up more. It's gone very quiet. Please don't like, has it worked, hasn't it? As I said, be kind to yourself because this is a very complicated one. So it's quite likely that it's not that even. Which is why I try and encourage to be as precise as possible because it helps. But as you can see, mine looks a little bit wobbly, but it's not bad. And you could also make a little stem and put it in there. It's rather lovely at the back of it as well, isn't it? Mike, yours as well. Well done, Amanda. Are you happy with it? Yeah. And it's just look how striking they are. They're very beautiful. They've got a nice depth to them. Wow, it's almost 50 minutes I've kept you going on this. How long would it take to make a bunch of flowers this way? A long time. But yeah, you could make a stem and feed it into there. Bless you, you've all hung on. I'm impressed. Oh, well done, Amanda. Has it worked for anybody else, or have you still kind of playing with it? Because I know, I mean, as you can see, I'm still playing with mine. I've just finished mine. It looks okay. Well done. As I said, it's a tricky one, so it's quite hard to get it perfect. It's quite rare for me that I've made one that I'm completely happy with it. Light inside. Oh, that's a very good idea. Yeah, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? A little light in there. Oh, what a beautiful idea. Because actually, as you can see, I've got little fairy lights. There's a yellow one. You might see there's a sort of daffodil one, which is me trying Eric's daffodil. This is an earlier stage, and I popped it on the light, and it looked really nice. Worked fine, thanks. But one of the V's kept disappearing. I know, it's so tricky. Yeah. It's not the easiest, but be very proud of yourself for just continuing. And I think overall, if you leave it for a little bit and come back to it, then I think you'll be more pleased with it as well. It is, I think it's, I still don't know how to quite explain about the little V's, whether there's a way to do it a bit more regularly, which would probably help feel more matching, but I've not found a way to do that. Excellent. Well done. So I hope you've all made it to your final daisy. And I hope it's been a good workout, hasn't it, for the brain. And yeah, I'll bring along something simple next week. I think we deserve that after a more complicated one. And if anyone does know who's designed this, I'd love to hear. But I've been asking around so far, not heard who might have come up with this. It's pretty clever, isn't it? You can see how it's related to other traditional pieces, and yeah, one thing builds on another. So yeah, there's a personal one, which is something that I tried from a Harbin book, and that was, you're happy to try again with a video. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I've recorded a video already, so you can go back to that. You're very welcome. You're very welcome, Eric. I hope it was nice to watch. And yeah, it's a really good challenge. This is the trickiest one I've brought you. So as I said, congratulate yourself that you've given the hardest one a really good go. Hopefully something has worked out from it, and you can try and build on that as well. Yes, wishing you all a very good week too. and I will hopefully see you next Wednesday, and I will share another fold as well in advance too, but it's more fun if you can join me live. It's really nice. Take care, everyone. Bye.